and then I just got your notification. Um,
Oops. This is more so. This isn't for like recording. This is more for people just if they want to like watch it live. That's fine.
sure. What's our topic?
Just the state of Destiny 2 going into Forsaken, essentially.
All
Easy
right. I
peasy.
feel
I'll roll us along. Don't worry.
All right, cool. Well, let me know when you want me to hit record.
Okay. You know the drill. I want to do a 1, 2, 3, and then clap.
Sure.
And then we will do that. Oops. Hold on, I got a message. Boom. Boom. Okay. All right. I'm going to clear my throat first of all. Take a sip of coffee to make sure that I don't just completely annihilate everything
Oh yeah.
because it's very
Oh,
important.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do the same.
Incredibly important. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start recording now.
Cool. Same.
All right.
Samesies.
All right. You ready to roll?
Yeah, actually, bear with me 2 seconds. I just want to make sure that this is saving itself onto
Yeah.
my other drive real quick. I just thought that. Sorry.
Yeah. That's incredibly important.
Because yeah, my C drive is like filling up, so gotta resort out all that.
I have
I
8.
have 19 gigs free, so it's fine where it is. It's totally fine.
Sweet.
We'll make it. I don't think this will be 19 gigs.
Well, no, I'm just kidding. I don't think it's gonna be 19 gigs either.
Exactly. All right, I'm recording. Let me know when you want to do the clap.
Okay, I'm ready. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Sweet.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is Return to Orbit. This is a Destiny podcast, and it's a little bit of a reboot. If you guys have followed my content for a little while, about a year or so ago, we had a podcast, and it kind of just fizzled away, kind of like Destiny did right after the launch of the launch of Destiny 2. So it was a little tough to find an audience, and a little tough to gather some content that was notable of good podcast content. So
Yeah.
we're back. It's about time for a huge, massive DLC called Forsaken here in a couple weeks, and I've got my buddy Percolator for my as my co-host for today. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Good.
Doing good.
It's good. It's good to see you. I know you've been real busy doing a lot of work stuff, so it's good to.
I've been, which is good. Honestly, I would
Sure.
say that like, oh, it's been bad. I've been able to play games. I am actually totally fine with that, and I feel like it's a good time to catch up on Destiny right now.
It is. It's a pretty exciting time. So, I figured today would be a good chance to kind of go over some of the items that are being discussed and revisited, and all that fun stuff as far as the content. So right now we have. Yeah, also everyone that's listening, we're live right now. We record on, we're going to be uploading to Anchor as our podcast platform. But if you want to watch the podcast live, there's some people in chat right now, mixer.com/Sean Bartley, which is my channel. If you ever want to watch us live while we record, that'd be dope. So if you're in the chat right now, hello. Sorry, I won't be responding to your comments in chat as we record, but know that I'm looking. And if you do have questions for us, just throw them in chat and we'll get to them. So how as far as like stuff that we're doing right now in Destiny, what have you been doing? Have you been doing the Solstice of Heroes stuff, Perk?
So yeah, honestly, like I came back to it, like I knew that was going to be the case. I was one of those people where I actually saved the white like regular common gear that you got at the start of the game, like the burn set.
Sure. Yeah.
Just because I was like a memento from like D2 like the first days. And so when I heard that they were coming back with that, and they're given to you as greens, and then you would like kind of like reforge them, I was super excited for it. So I've been working on that. I know I'm slow with it. I just got to my blue set last night. So I'm going to be definitely working on that. I have full intentions of getting all 400 points.
Okay. All right.
Close to my shirt right now. I've had all the shirts from Destiny 1 whenever they've put them out. So
yeah, we actually didn't last time. We got caught up. Sam and I. Yeah, we did.
The Age of Triumph shirt is actually pretty dope.
No, I think we got the first. Was there 3 so far? 3 shirts?
I think there's been 3. I'm trying to remember what.
I think we got the first one, maybe, or I did. I don't remember.
The first one was the summer after Skolas, because I know Skolas was you had to do him to
Oh,
get
that's
that
right.
shirt.
I
It
don't
was
know.
like a
I think I got
dark blue
that.
shirt with like light blue
I don't
fonts
remember.
and stuff on it.
Either
Either
way,
way,
I
it's
got my
dope.
points. I like that I'm able to get this one because I wanted this one really bad. I don't know why.
Yes.
I don't know why I felt
Yeah.
like super obligated, but wife and
There's
I both
honestly
we ordered them just a couple days ago already. So
there's more to this one than there has been. I think arguably the other shirts have been more difficult to achieve because more
yeah,
raids and stuff were like required to get the shirt.
okay,
Now there's kind of more levels to what you can get. You can get the shirt, you can get the points, you can get
yeah.
the gear for one character, you can get it for all characters,
Well, you don't
and you get
actually
the
have to
ship
like
if you do.
complete everything. You know, it's not
Yeah,
like super
yeah.
difficult. You're right. So yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
been fun. I think the fun the implementation of kind of the physical shirt and like all the what do you want to call them?
Oh
If you want
yeah.
to call them moments of time into the actual like Solstice of
Moments.
Heroes like event has been really
Yeah,
cool.
I think so.
But it's been really cool, and I think Solstice of Heroes as an event's been really fun. It's like
I do
people
like it. I
asking like, "Hey,
love.
we want grindy stuff," and Bungie's like, "Hold
Yeah,
my beer."
here you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that like you go into the tower and it's all like sparkly and everything. Like
yeah,
I
those
think it was
events are
cool.
fun.
It definitely feels visibly like if a player was very casual and they just kind of turned on their game one day and goes, "Oh, I'll play some Destiny."
Yeah,
They go, "Whoa, what's all this? What's with the statue? What's with this green gear that they're giving me?" And like all
sure,
this stuff. Like I think they've done a better job with putting it in your face as opposed to just that pop up when you're in orbit for the first time.
sure,
Like Trials is available, Iron Banner is available, Moments of Triumph. Like people ignore that stuff all the time. So
pretty much.
having like an actual place in game. You know what though? I honestly was thinking that we would have to use the farm for this, and we didn't use the farm, and I'm
I
kind of
know
sad about it.
that's like
Like
such a that's obviously a discussion for a
wasted
different
the
day, but like
environment.
what a yeah like why
Somebody who created the farm environment at Bungie like has that set as their desktop background and look at it every day, going, "I made this."
in the arms of an angel.
Seriously, because like they made this dope environment, and they're just like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, we're not gonna
it
use it."
was really neat, and I thought it was really cool. But like you're there for the
Yeah,
first, especially for the people that jumped into the game and just like really grind it out like right away. Like you were there for like a matter of like an hour, and then you're like, I'm out.
yeah, yeah.
Got
I
stuff to
remember
do. Once you go
like,
past the story, you're back in the tower again, which is great.
yeah, it's which is like it's cool, but like one, I like the old tower better.
Same.
Two, I wanted to use the farm. I was really hoping, like we were all speculating in the clan
Hmm.
that like we're like, oh maybe like the farm is like the new tower, but like we're gonna be able to get on like our sparrows and like ride out to like the Earth locations and do stuff on Earth.
Which would have been
Like
dope.
so cool, but like we just wanted something to do. Like we wanted to have like some actual reason to
Sure.
use, these things. But
Question: do you think we'll go back to the OG tower in Destiny 2 or no?
so I have my own like theory. I think at the end of the 10 years, however long Bungie will be making Destiny for, if it ever goes to a different company, like as an IP later on, I
Probably.
think during the tenure of Bungie having it, I think the tower will be reforged, and I think our Guardians will be cemented as like the leader of the Vanguard. I don't I don't expect
Sure.
us to be just the, oh wow, you're like this like god tier guardian. Like, yeah, can you go do this stuff for us?
Like all
Like
those
at a
like
certain
go do
point,
these public events and these patrols. Like
yeah,
no, bitch.
it's like no, dude, it's like lower level guardians should be doing that shit. But
Sure.
like I killed a worm god, like I stopped Crota,
Like
I did
these are
all this
like
shit.
deeply seated Destiny
Yeah,
characters and lore. These monsters and dudes that have been like
exactly.
destructing everything for hundreds of years or whatever it is, and you just like pop pop pop,
Right.
yo dead. Now I
Yeah,
gotta
and
go do a
I just
patrol because
yeah, it's
Zavala's
like,
yelling at
dude,
me.
it's like, dude, Zavala can go get spin foil if he wants it.
For
Like,
real.
I don't need that. Or spin
That's
metal,
true.
whatever it was called. Spin foil
I don't know.
is too colloquialized as a term, but like, you know what I'm
Spin
saying?
metal.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be like, I hope the last expansion is us just being the dude, giving the command and like doing all this shit. Like,
Same.
I want to give the command and I want to roll out with a bunch of guardians like in old Russia and
Sure.
like, build that shit up. Like
See,
that would be cool.
I like the idea of like ever changing worlds and stuff.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
for instance, horrible example, but also kind of a cool example is like how Fortnite does it, right? Like with the whole
yeah.
rocket event thing.
That
Like,
was cool.
dude, it was super cool.
I enjoyed that.
Like one of the coolest gaming moments that I can remember in
Oh
my
yeah.
time as a gamer because like everyone was in the game, everyone was watching, and it happened once, like, and it was
Yep.
live, and everyone was there, and like it was this rocket. Like, can you imagine stuff like that happening in Destiny? Like, how sweet would that be? Like, there's a
Yeah.
DLC coming up, but there's like this ship rolling in, and like everyone can watch it, and like, I don't know, man. Like, we kind of got a
Yeah,
little bit of that in like Destiny 1 with those like events,
House of
remember?
Wolves.
Yeah, where they
Yeah.
got like those, the pre-events that kind of where you could like grind the
hmm
chest and stuff. And I like that
The
stuff was like
key
super engaging.
the key races were so much
They
fun.
were so
Like
fun, so
it
cool.
was so cool. Like I really that had so much charm to it.
Mhm.
Like when the bounties showed up, they're like, "Hey, you can get these keys. We're not telling you what the keys are for."
Right.
Like that event wasn't like the way the Prison of Elders functioned wasn't amazing, but their decision to include like a pre tie-in event where it wasn't ruined if you didn't get a chance to play that day, but it was
Sure.
like you were there and like everybody remembers like, oh, I remember like the racing like finding the right spots to like accelerate on my sparrow to like race around the quarter
Sure, and
to
get
like
to that
double
chest in
back
time.
you know
Mhm.
respawn the chest so you can get multiple chest key drops before the wolves started to go away. It was just cool. Like
It
that
was. It was
we
neat.
need more of that. I think they're doing a good job bringing more actual stuff to like in game, like in the tower and things like that. But I know a lot of content creators were talking about it too, and I feel the exact same way. The faction rallies,
Mhm.
like we should not be doing spamming public events for renown and then finishing a lost sector.
No, they
I
shouldn't.
like
Yeah.
the difficulty, but like
Mhm.
as a guardian, if I'm flexing for a faction, I want to be able to do that in other ways.
Sure.
You know,
I think
like
if they tie them to different activities, it would be
yeah,
better.
or make
Or
it give us a bunch of tokens for completing a raid. Give us
sure,
a put a
sure, sure,
timer on the
sure.
raid. Let us try to rep our factions and do. I think there's a lot they can do with it, and I hope that they're I'm sure they are. They're probably taking all that stuff in. I would just that's the kind of stuff that I really want to see. Like there's as a community we can look if we as a community can look and see so many different ways that they can crank their game up to 11 to
Mhm.
use that meme. They should be being like, okay, we see that. I like that they're acknowledging the fact that we're like, hey, break the game, let us be overpowered. And I like that they're leaning into
Right.
that. They're like, you know what? Like,
That's the
because
way
that
it
was the
should be.
same thing exactly. That's what Warframe did. They
Yep.
had that glitch where you can like fly across a chasm, and they were instead of nerfing that, they were like, you know what? Let's build it in. There's
Build it
space
into the
ninjas.
game. It's
Let
fun.
them do
People
it.
enjoy
Let
it,
them
and
do it.
it's a good thing. Sure.
I just like jumping around. Like the movement
Mhm.
is so much fun in that. Like
I
they
agree.
need to really lean into the OP ness of it.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know.
so
I hope that when it comes just kind of like finishing the point about like the tower and all that stuff. I wish that I'm a little bit triggered that like, and I was the same way in Destiny 1, I guess, but like I'm a little bit triggered that like you go back to the tower and like the same fucking dude's working on the same fucking thing, like in the
yeah,
corner, like doing his welding, and like the same parts of the
yeah,
tower are still like, it's like how long does it take to like weld a pipe together? And then you look up at the OG tower where we used to be and it's still smoking. Like, come
it's
on, man.
burning. Yeah, it's like they need to do a better job and a faster job, and they can put stuff on the outside. That's why I'm hoping like the Dreaming City or whatever it's called, like the
Hmm.
Awoken spot.
Which looks beautiful, by the way.
It does look gorgeous. I'm excited for like a new environment because
Hmm.
the tower is like the wall, I guess technically that we're on.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
even the tower,
Sort of boring. The Traveler needs to put itself back together. Um,
Get your shit
like
together, traveler.
yeah, like Io is probably the coolest place, but I feel so limited into like the crevices and stuff that I can go.
Sure.
Like I use this as an example all the time, but like in old Russia, if you did a 360 and like just looked around, you knew you were at the Forgotten Shore. You
Right.
knew you were in Moth Yards. Like you
Sure.
knew the locations because they all felt really unique. If I'm on IO and I pan my character's head around to look where I am, I
Hmm.
have no clue.
I have no idea.
Nothing
No
on the
idea.
planets feels distinct. They feel
Yeah.
detailed, but they don't feel like distinct. So in
Okay.
Forsaken, I'm really that's one thing that's not really called out a whole lot, but something that I'm looking for.
Right.
I hope they notice that. Like the environments are great, they're beautiful, but they don't feel distinct as they did in Destiny 1.
Sure. I wonder if it's a like a design thing, like especially with like the tower. Like I wonder if it's just like a map or like a level to where it's like permanent and they can't really make adjustments, but they do with like the events, right?
They do the banners, yeah.
So
They
that
do the
they
banners
might
and
be able to like
confetti.
add certain little elements to it, but like as an entity, as like a whole like thing, it's almost like a map, right? Like they
Yeah.
can't really make living adjustments to it.
Yeah.
But that,
I,
in my opinion, that's a design flaw. They should have made it so it's able to be
I
be
think so.
changed.
Also, let me take an elevator and go down to the bottom, like
Sure.
we did in that mission when we first loaded into the Solstice of Heroes thing.
Yep. I'll
where
check
we're
it out.
like down, like Ikora was like at the lakefront.
Let me go
Let
down
me,
there.
yo, dude, let me go down. Put a vendor down there. Put something. Let
Sure.
me like give me a loading screen where I can just emote in an elevator because I know they have elevators in the game because that's all there are in the freaking EDZ.
Sure.
Um, Let me just have something like that where I can go down. Like I want to feel the expanse of the tower.
I agree.
You know,
100%. So
that's kind of where I'm at.
interesting little things to talk about.
Yeah.
I guess not super important. So, you kind of touched on, they're bringing back that feeling of power, and they're doing a lot to make people kind of. They saw, hey, these people are having fun doing A, B, and C. Let's elaborate on A, B, and C, which I think is a really good um, prerequisite, like going into Forsaken, for instance. So I wanted to kind of touch on what the investment team was talking about and like
Mm-hmm.
how they're improving ways that you play in Forsaken, which I thought was interesting. And in the TWAB last week, they gave a pretty good overview. Also, if you're listening and you're offended that I called it the TWAB, you can unsubscribe because I'm going to talk. That's what I'm going to call it.
What is that a two different teams thing? TWAB,
Yeah, it's Team TWAB.
Team TWAB. What
I
else
think
does
so.
anybody else call it? The TWAB.
The TWAB, yeah.
Yeah, it's
TWAB.
whatever.
TWAB and TWAB. It sounds like naughty. TWAB and TWAB. Yeah, show you my TWAB and TWAB.
I'll call it the shortest thing that I can call it. The Bungie weekly update.
Dude. Yeah, right.
It's fine.
So, anyways, the investment team, when they're talking about like progression, which is important in my opinion in Destiny, probably one of the most important things.
Oh yeah.
I have the TWAB up in front of me, so I wanted to go through a couple of the items that they said
Sure.
on high level goals and progression for season 4. So the first thing they said is they want to bring back the days where people were impressed to see someone at max power, and that made me happy when I was reading that because it was like right now I didn't feel like it was super crucial to get to max light or max power or whatever the heck it's called for hashtag forever light, but still there was really no point, right? If you could do the activities at like a certain, like there was like a 30 light gap where it's like, as long as you're like 360 or whatever, you'll be fine, and like, so what's the point? And there was no goal.
Me and Beetle can talk about this for hours because we were the ones grinding out ogre kills just to get our Grimoire score up back when Grimoire was shown on your player badge.
Sure.
And that, like, I gotta say, like, Grimoire meant something. That score, that was literally Destiny's own achievements. Like, people.
Yeah, that was your badge of honor,
Yeah, like achievements on Xbox, achievements on PlayStation, whatever. Like, that was like a thing. Like, that was like, oh wow, this player has done a lot of different stuff to get that score. And they even acknowledged it coming into Destiny 2, because if you got over, I think, 5,100 Grimoire score, you got a badge, you got an emblem in Destiny 2 that you could only get if you had this Grimoire score before
in
a
Destiny.
certain date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. Because then it was like, at least like acknowledging it in D2, knowing that the Grimoire went away and stuff like that. But that is a huge thing for players. I'm very happy. I'm precociously happy, I would say, seeing what they're going to be, doing with that. Like, I miss seeing, having to wear my best stuff just so that I can feel cool in the imaginary space world, because that is the entire point of the game.
Sure. So, and
looking
I mean that
cool and having a number next to you.
It does, because that's essentially in a lot of games that is end game.
Yeah.
Dude, my throat. Sorry to everyone listening, by the way. My throat is like, for some reason, all messed up today. So going with that, I mean, they touch on, they want the experience of leveling and, and empowering up to be meaningful, which when they use the word meaningful, it made me happy.
Yeah.
And they use the word sense of discovery when earning new rewards from different activities, which is good. And when players accomplish something difficult, the rewards should be special or unique, which is what we've all been saying for the last year, right? Going into year 2. So hearing these things from them directly written out in front of us is super good news. And adding on to that, the last point that they made is not all sources of power in a week should be apparent on the director. So that's kind of them basically saying, hey, and they're kind of reworking the whole milestones thing, which we'll talk about here in a second. But they're kind of moving away from like, log in, do your thing, do your Crucible for the week, do your Flashpoint, go off, do something else. And like only be able to get A, B, and C per week and then be done
Yes.
with it. They want you to be able to discover. They want you to be able to grind. They want you to be able to go out and like
Yeah.
Warframe, essentially. Like I'll probably
Yeah.
in this podcast over the course of its lifespan reference a lot of things in Warframe and Division because I don't mind to because they do it well, right? You can always log into those games and do something that feels rewarding. You can always
Exactly.
grind out something. And I was listening to another Destiny podcast this morning, and they were talking about something that they really think needs to return in Destiny in general is like the reward screen at the end of like PvP matches, and
Yes.
strikes or something like that. Like, well, strikes are different
Yes.
because you get the chest at the end, and that's kind of the same thing. I actually do visibly like to see that PVE
I
loot.
like the chest. Yeah, I like to see like
But
shooting out of it and
do you
everything.
remember like playing Crucible back in the day, especially Iron Banner, like specifically Iron Banner? You would do Iron Banner, you would get the rewards, and then like the butt clinch at the end when like all the rewards would start popping up, and you
We
needed the
do.
helmet, right? And that was the only way to get it was to
Absolutely.
like randomly grind for it, which I love. But then there's other people that are going to complain like I should be able to buy all the gear, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah. Very
For
different.
me, the best part about it was when we were all grinding out for the what was the hand cannon? I already forgot it off the top of my head. The Luna, the Ice Luna or whatever it
Yes,
was called.
Luna. Yeah.
ES Luna.
Yep.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
those were a really rare drop, and I only probably got like a handful, maybe 10 total from all the Destiny PvP that I played, OG Destiny, and
Yeah.
every single time. Like you could be playing. This is what I want. I want to be able to go. Right now, you go into PvP, quick play, and you're just playing. Right? You're
Mm-hmm.
just playing. You have ranked and you're ranking up. But once you get that ghost or whatever the rewards are at the end of the season, you're done. Like there's no point to reset your
Yep.
to prestige or
Yep.
whatever the hell you want to
That's it.
call it. But in Destiny 1, you were able to always have in the back of your mind, oh, at the end of this, I still have a chance at a Luna, or I still have a chance at a whatever, or whatever was
Yes.
dropping at that time. And that's what I
Yeah.
miss because I don't think people, developers in general, I don't think they always understand like little tiny things to a game like that can like dramatically increase your player base,
It changes
like at
everything.
all times.
Absolutely.
And I think
Like
and
we
I think
used to.
I think that's
Yeah.
coming back. I think things like that are. I think Bungie realizes that's what people want. They want that grind. Um,
I hope so.
Go ahead with what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut
no,
you off.
no, that's good. I didn't know when you're stopping. But you're absolutely right. Like the whole thing with that is like you can get crushed in a Crucible game, and then you go, nah, like this game sucked, and you're
Right.
just like waiting. You're like, all right, but
Sure.
maybe RNG will be with me today,
Sure.
and you can get a Luna, and it changes how you felt about whatever thing just sucked.
Oh,
You're
we've
like,
had our bouts of Crucible, and we're all just like by the end of the game, you're just like, I'm done. Like,
yep. Like even yesterday, I was just kind of like, I started out great, and I was just like, yeah, I'm
yeah, because a
done.
bad game is a bad game, right? There's no
It,
bad
it's
game. Plus,
yeah,
maybe you get this cool reward even
right,
just for
because
playing the game.
yeah, there's nothing that I was looking for. Like there's nothing. There was I literally my name comes from me being obsessed with like the randomness of the guns. Like
Sure.
the guns in their base stats were kind of the backdrop, but the way the perks rolled on the guns is what made them what they were.
Sure.
They were their own characters. They had their own
You're perfectly
charm.
segueing my conversation, by the way. Keep going.
Perfect. Awesome. I just like that whole thing just meant so much. And I think a lot of people were like, you don't need, we don't need random rolls. We should just, have mods and everything like that. And I'm like, yes, but if you make mods random,
Hmm.
then you just do it through mods. You can bank a bunch of mods, get one of the gun, and you're in the House of Wolves syndrome where we could just re-roll,
Correct.
which wasn't as fun. Was still fun, not
See,
as
like
much fun.
I've laid in bed at night. I don't know, literally, maybe not literally, but like figure of speech. I've laid in bed at night thinking about like House of Wolves and random rolls. Like I think I might have liked that more than this, a lot more than this. Even though it was like kind of annoying to have to re-roll and re-roll and re-roll, and
Yeah,
but like it gave you something to do, you know?
it was something to do because if I had finished a strike and I got a bunch of stuff, I could be like, great, I got materials, I got gun parts. I'm gonna go
Let's go.
re-roll this
Yep,
shotgun until I get
get rangefinder.
rangefinder and
Yeah.
shot package, and
So
hammer
all right,
forge.
so here's my segue into this, just so I don't forget. So you talked about like random rolls and all that stuff going
Hmm.
into Forsaken. Um,
Yeah.
this is where I think that this is probably going to happen again, which is going to be dope because without getting too in depth into the mods, I'll do a show at some point here that discusses all these things so people have
Yeah.
a better understanding of how the mods are going to work and that kind of thing. But mods and all that kind of stuff, you're going to go into now. This is just my understanding. You're going to go into a strike, and or a PvP match, and like at the end of the match you get a drop, right? It's usually a piece of gear, a
Right.
weapon, whatever. Now with random rolls, that's going to be a random rolled weapon, right? Like they talked about that's a pretty good devils, pretty okay devils, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like in their little video, which was
Best
the best
devils.
devils,
Yeah.
and that's what's going to be fun about it is like the aesthetic of Destiny 1 was the screen, right? You saw the screen, which was super
Yeah.
satisfying. But I don't think
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm not worried about the aesthetic of that. That was great and that would be awesome if we could get that, but it's probably not going to happen. The thing that we are going to get is the idea of that, I think. And I think the idea of that is getting to the end of a strike or a PvP match and then watching the right side of your screen, seeing what's going to drop because you may be looking for a better devils. And
Yeah.
if you're a PvP player, that's where you're going to get it from is that end game drop. On top of that, if you
Exactly.
don't get what you want, you're still going to be able to get those legendaries. And instead of just breaking them down for legendary shards, which we do now, which is cool. And that's going to be even more impactful in Forsaken because those are going to be, like we had talked about a little bit last night, going to be more meaningful in your upgrading of Masterworks, etc. You're going to be
Yes.
wanting to get those rewards at the end to use them for materials, mods, etc., because
Right.
those weapons that you're going to be dismantling and those mods on those weapons you're going to be dismantling are going to be used to forge new mods, which is great. So hopefully, in my book, that's the way that it's going to be. That's the understanding that I have about it. And if only they could make some really cool like PvP exclusive drops, like the Luna that were in Destiny 1 that you kind of grind for and stuff like that. I think that would just be the icing on the cake.
I think
To be
so, and I think the mods are going to be a way to mitigate not getting a random roll and
mm-hmm.
being like at a certain point you can be like, okay, fine, this is close enough with these mods on it, it'll still be fun.
Because I don't think we have re-rolling in Forsaken, right? It's just
I don't
random
think so.
random
No,
weapon drops. So,
right.
which I love because you're not going to be able to go to a vendor and just get a better devils and then be like, cool, I got a better devils and I'm just going to re-roll this single one. You have to actually obtain them multiple times to get the one that
Yes.
you want, or at least the
Yes.
mods to get the one that you want, right? If
Hmm.
I'm
And I
believing,
think, yeah, I'm a
but
little
they're still going to
foggy on
have,
it.
but they're still going to have. My understanding is that they're going to have static perks that can change, right? So you're gonna have to
Hmm.
grind for that specific set of perks that you want, and then the mods are just gonna be like the way that you upgrade those guns to
Yeah.
masterwork capability. So if I am going over this correctly, and if you're listening to this podcast, tweet me at Sean Bartley. Make me feel stupid, but you have to grind out for the specific role that you want on that weapon. Um,
Yes.
and then
I
mods are
believe
gonna
so.
mods are gonna be able to adjust those
Yeah.
accordingly.
And I
So,
think one thing I sort of hope is in there because they've done this to a small degree.
mhm,
When and this is mostly notable on this I think was only notable on the blue guns.
sure.
I, being the perk fiend, I always kept an eye on the blue guns because some of them I was hoping for some gems because in Destiny 1 we had a fully different functional set of guns that were in blues that you could use in Crucible.
Sure.
In D2 they decided to kind of make them baby versions and just had like more perk slots for the choosing. In the legendary version there was kind of like the blue version and like a legendary version of each gun.
Mhm.
um in the blue guns you could get a gun from IO and it came with like a worn IO shader as its default, like the way that it looked.
Sure.
You can also get one from Earth and it had a worn Earth shader. What I'd
Right, right,
like
right.
them to really do further
Mhm.
is if I drop, let's say Better Devils, I'll use it as an example because everybody knows it, but that's a
Yep.
Crucible weapon.
Sure.
Let's say Better Devils was like a PvE weapon and I got one from Earth and then I also got one from, or you can even use it as for the devils. If you finished a game from an Earth map and it dropped for you,
Mhm.
there should be a little bit something notifying like Earth, like a little different sight on it, like a little different
Okay.
like
Yeah.
grip on it, or something that can really even further personalize that weapon to you. You're like, oh, I finished a sick map on Earth, and I dropped my Better Devils. Not only was it with like the Earth grip on it, but
Mhm.
like nothing stat wise, just something visual
Sure.
to be like, oh, mine was from Earth. This is the version
Maybe
from
legendary
Mars.
mods. Um, those are
Not even
those are
even
coming.
just
Not
yeah
mods. I'm sorry. Legendary
ornaments.
ornaments. Yeah. Maybe
Maybe.
make those exclusive to certain activities
I
or
think
something.
I think it'd be cool. I think it's just something because like it's all about how we look,
Sure.
and I think it would just be even a further thing. Like exotics should only look like exotics because they're kind of like the heartbeat of the weapon set
And they
in the
should be
game.
badass. Yeah. I think everyone
Hmm.
agrees that
Yeah.
exotics performance and visually they should just look badass, honestly.
Yeah, you should be building around your exotic. We built around knowing that we had the Galahorn, so we're like we
Right.
know Galahorn's taken up, and we know Helmsley 14 was taken up as a Titan. So you're like, okay, what else? I need other good gear for these other slots
Sure.
to accompany the legendary build and stuff like that. So
Sure.
I
Absolutely.
just I'm those are a lot of avenues that they can explore with minimal effort that will still be good. Like it'll still be something that they can do easily, won't affect anything, just for the people that are kind of going for the
Of course.
fashion element of it.
Very cool. Absolutely. Cool. So next on the list, I wanted to go over. There's a little bit of changes in like the activities themselves and how they're gonna be adjusted when Forsaken comes
Yeah.
out. Notably, strikes. So the base strike playlist has been retired. Um,
Yes.
with like all that stuff, or the heroic strikes. I'm sorry, have been retired, and they will be retired on August 28th. With 2.0,
Yes.
which is the update that's coming on the 28th. If everyone's not sure, that's going to include all the weapon stuff, and that's next cast. So we're just kind of overviewing on today's. So for Forsaken players, the strike playlist has 3 different difficulties. There'll be 300, 400, and 500 power. So it's basically what they're saying is once you're over 40 power of like a specific playlist, it's not going to appear as an option anymore for you to select it to play it.
I love that
Yeah.
they're doing
So
that.
it ensures
That is
a healthy matchmaking pool when players reach end game power levels, which is great.
yes.
But that 500 list will always be available, and strikes will have modifiers. So that's
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this about me. I hate strikes in general.
Really?
It is the least done activity for my entire Destiny career.
Okay.
I don't really enjoy them. I've never really enjoyed them.
Okay.
It's never been my jam. I've done them for things like grinding for the grasp of Malak.
Sure.
When we were farming,
Sure.
Omnigul. That
Hmm.
was cool. I'll do it for those reasons. I have never enjoyed. I will say this. I think the concept of the strikes is fun, but
Hmm.
I've never found a strike that I really enjoyed. I did them way more in Destiny 1. I
Okay.
think for 99% of my strike playing in Destiny 2 has been just the Nightfall. I've
Okay.
only done it when I've needed to, like when we're farming for like a thing, or we were trying to get power level. I'll do it for
Right.
power level. In the early days of an expansion, I don't enjoy strikes in general. But the fact that there will be lockouts for experience and things like that, I'm more incentivized to check it out,
Okay.
and I hope to see I hope to see seasonal variants in strikes. I
Same.
shouldn't be able to do a strike at launch
Hmm.
and before an expansion comes out it be the same strike. It should be changing,
Sure. What
whether it
what
be the
about what about introducing the idea of like we got the Nightfall exclusive loot kind of situation,
yes.
which I love, by the way. I love grinding
I
Nightfalls.
like it. I like it.
And people complain about the drop rates and stuff, but I think they're dope. I like the rarity of the drop rates, but that's a different story. But what about introducing strike exclusive loot back into the strike playlists? Do you think that would help you enjoy strikes a little bit more?
I think it would because I played a lot of strikes
Okay.
going for a hopscotch pilgrim
Okay.
in the days
Yeah,
of
yeah.
House of
Man,
Wolves.
that OG pulse was sick.
Oh, I loved it. Like pulse rifles, my
Is
jam.
it the activity? Back up 2 seconds. Is it the activity, like the strikes themselves, that you don't like, or you just don't like? You don't think they're worth your time? Is what you're trying to say?
Both.
Okay.
I I would rather lose in a crucible match than win in a strike, like easily go through a strike. I just think they're too long. The time investment for what I'm getting from them
Mm-hmm.
is doesn't equal value to me.
Fair.
I 20 minutes in 20 minutes I could be maybe a third of the way through a raid,
Sure.
and I could have gotten a drop from that raid at that point.
Touche.
Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I'd rather commit my time and bank raid completions than strike
Mm-hmm.
completions. Strike completions don't do anything, especially now going into Forsaken. The fact that like low level guardians are going to be able to jump up so we can carry again,
Sure.
which I'm excited about because I have some friends that don't play all that much, but they're like, I really want to do this. I'm like, yeah, we can do it for you, and you
Let's
can
do it.
hop
Yep.
up, then you can get into Iron Banner. It'll be a little bit easier for you. I like the incentive for like making those bigger jumps
Okay.
between things, and there's just for strikes in the way that they are, there has always been a thing that I could achieve in the game that had a better time to value percentage for me. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Like doing Suffix Prime was fun and easy, you know.
Sure.
Doing a Nightfall is rewarding because it rewards a big drop. Like it rewards a chance for when exotics mattered. It rewarded, there's a chance for exotics. Now there's a chance for the Nightfall rewards and stuff like that. I think those are cool. I think the emblems and getting, your benchmark score to be able to then be like, okay, well, now we can farm the normal mode of the strike. I think that stuff is all cool, but there has just always been something that I could do that was more worth my time than just sitting in the strike playlist.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't
Just
disagree
kinda,
with you. Like, I
just
think
kind
if
of how I feel about
for me personally, I feel like if the rewards were there and it was worth my time a little bit more, then it would be worth grinding
it.
them
Yeah,
out. Like if you look at Division, back to that again. This guy.
yeah,
But if you look at like
yeah,
all the different missions, like you can replay those missions and like especially when the events come out and stuff. Like you're not a huge Division player, but basically how it would work is there during the events and all that other stuff, like there'd be a mission that would be like a specific drop, that you would grind over and over, and
yeah,
those are fun. Like it obviously got kind of annoying because you'd have to grind the same missions over and over, and
yeah.
those missions were essentially strikes in Destiny. But if there was
Also,
like
how
if
dare
there,
you say I'm not a division player? I'm level 8.
oh shit, sorry, got called
I-
out. Forever level
no,
8
it's fine.
percolator.
Yeah,
Um,
seriously.
but yeah, so like there would be like a boss in that mission or at the end, that would have a chance to drop like
Mm,
a certain weapon or piece of gear or gear set or whatever like that.
yeah.
So in chat, remain anonymous as Perk gets triggered when people say Division. Um,
Oh wait, I'm going to this chat right now. Who is? I bet I know who it is.
I bet you do
That's
too.
fine. But yeah, like what I'm saying. Like there's always been that thing where like there's just I don't know. There's always been a better value, and
Sure.
I would, with the time that I have, I would rather spend that time putting it into doing that stuff as opposed to just running
I
strikes.
would love if
I,
strikes had like a gear
a
set
reason,
tied to them, right?
yeah, had
Like a
like a
full gear
reason.
set. Like if you played like the Pyramidian, is that how you say it? The Pyramidian.
Yes,
So like
pyramid. Yeah, yeah.
Pyramidian, yeah. So if you had like a dope like Vex set like piece of gear, like
That would be
can you
cool.
imagine? They'd be rare drops, but like you had a chance of getting one of the pieces. Like I'd be
Yeah.
running that strike playlist all day long trying to get that stuff.
I 100% agree with you. Like that was kind of the
It's
reason.
reward based,
Like
man.
yeah, especially when during the Age of Triumph for the end of D1,
Hmm.
there was the gear for redoing the raids, and oh
Yeah,
my god, they looked so good. Like I love the vault set, and I would run the vault every week if I could,
dude,
just to kind of like
the best gear.
yeah,
Don't at me. The best gear in Destiny's history
seriously,
was the reworked raid sets at the very end of Destiny
hundred
One. The
percent,
Crota
hundred
with the
percent.
horns on the warlock,
Oh, the
like
whole like
I
floaty and
needed it.
stuff,
Like I
dude.
didn't want it. I needed it.
The hunter, I don't play hunters, I don't like hunters, but I grinded Vault of Glass because
Hmm.
the hunter ornament, you got a Vex leg. It was
Yeah.
like the peg leg. It was the coolest thing ever. I was
Hmm.
like, this is awesome. I
I
need
was so
this.
funny because everyone was like, "This is what raid gear looks like. Like this is raid gear."
Yes.
Looking at WoW and looking at all
Yeah.
these other games, like the raid gear and the end game gear was always so like outlandish and like crazy looking.
Yeah.
And you
It's
finally
supposed
got
to be
the,
bonkers.
and then we go into Destiny 2 and they're like, "Here," and we're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Like
The
it's not
first set,
bad looking gear, but like
yeah.
it's not raid gear, man. Like
It looked like a permutation of the Trials gear,
yeah,
honestly. I could definitely see that their art style was kind of both in the same vein.
sure.
Very much like symmetric, kind of like face obscuring type of
And
helmets and stuff like that.
the ornaments and stuff added a pretty cool
Oh yeah,
feature to the gear,
they
and
were
like I
awesome.
agree with that. Like if you're running all the ornaments, with all the raid gear, like you look badass. But that's what the raid gear should just
Absolutely.
look like, in my opinion. Like you finish the raid, you should look like you finished the raid.
Exactly. You should you should emerge from that experience, roll into the tower, and people should look at you and be like, "Damn, I need to get a raid team together.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go do this. I want to look like this guy. This guy looks fresh.
Yep.
Like,
And
I
then we
need
have
to."
a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, we got like a little bit of the, what do they call them, the glows here. Um,
Oh, ornaments.
Ornament. Well, not
Or
the ornaments, but like in
the
the Solstice of Heroes, we got like the glows and stuff to the. Kind of makes you look badass, but they need more
what's
stuff like that, I think.
yeah. So could we call on that for a minute because I didn't know that they were random. I thought that you just got them.
Dude,
And
same. Sammy
why
bought
of
them and was
of
like, yeah,
if if you can grind for this, if you're in this big long grind for all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna then make me rely on Eververse for like the auras for them. Are you
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah, I know.
Like your whole thing was like grind, 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 and then you're like, ha ha ha, loot boxes. Really?
Sure.
Like really? Like why are we doing that? I needed to call
My
that out.
point being, at least we know that they're like, you know, because I remember, oh crap, what were they called in Destiny One? The you know them calling the colors that you could put on the gear.
Oh, the like
The person at home
not
listening to this podcast that's like,
not the
this is
shader,
what it is. You know what I'm talking about though. Chroma.
not the
Yes,
chroma.
Chroma. Thank you,
Yes,
chat.
chroma. Yep.
Yeah, Chroma. That was badass. I thought that was cool. It was like a really
Chroma
good way to
was
customize.
cool. Yes, I had that Iron Man looking set with like the blue for
Mm-hmm.
like the Iron Man eyes and shit. It was dope.
So that was cool.
100%.
Hopefully we move more towards that kind of stuff. And it's really cool with like the idea of legendary ornaments and all that other stuff is kind of cool in my book.
Yeah.
Hopefully that moves over to gear and stuff too, where you can like mess with the
Yes.
gear. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit back on track here, so we don't get having Perk on a podcast always means that we always kind of just go crazy, which is the most
Ranting.
fun, in my opinion. I'm just like trying to stay on track. I sat down today and
Oh
like
yeah.
wrote out like kind of a schedule for the next like 3 podcasts. So I'm like trying as hard
Nice.
as I possibly can to like stick to the ideas. So
Yeah.
we were talking a little bit about strikes. The difference now, the Nightfall. How do you feel about the Prestige Nightfall going away?
A little conflicted. I
Okay.
That was one of the few things where I was like, I liked jumping into the hard version of a strike.
Okay.
Like I liked like the low stakes of normal strikes. Like I'm doing them just to do the completions for the Solstice gear.
Mm-hmm.
The high stakes, the pressure of the old Nightfalls and their modifiers
Sure.
gave me a thrill. It was
Okay.
exciting. The fact that we could be, no pun intended, return to orbit from
Hey. Sorry.
a from failing in a strike, like in
Sure.
a Nightfall strike, that
Mm-hmm.
pressure, that was good pressure.
Well,
Because
I'm gonna read I'm gonna read this to you
go ahead.
from the TWAB and see if sorry I didn't really I get where you're coming from and I
Yeah.
agree with you wholeheartedly, but it's so the base difficulty for the Nightfall activity will increase um, in general. Additionally, players will have the ability to choose one of 3 Nightfall strikes. We know that,
I
and
like
there's a
that.
specific Nightfall unique reward that you know that you're hunting for. This will reduce blah 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 blah. So you get to pick which one you want out of a pool of 3, which I think is wonderful.
I like
While
that a lot.
having 3 options, players may only select the strikes for which they own the appropriate expansions. Yeah, we get that, and legacy players will still be able to enable modifiers being in their challenge cards, so that's not something we will be doing. Scoring will not be available for legacy players in the 270 power Nightfall. So basically, what they're doing is they're basically just making the Nightfall your weekly super hard strike to do. There's no there's going to be active modifiers on the Nightfall, but they're just going to be active modifiers on the Nightfall like they used to be back in the day.
Right.
And they're just bumping the difficulty for the OG Nightfall. So it's going to basically be OG Nightfall, no prestige difficulty, no modifiers that you physically put on them via a thing or whatever. How do you feel
Okay.
about that portion of it?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And the reason is because I felt a little bit like while I liked the prestige, I also had a feeling like with D2 in a lot of senses that they needed to like dress up the base versions of their challenges in order to make them actually challenges.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
no, 100%.
like they I didn't want to do a regular strike, but they're like, okay, well you can do a Nightfall version of it, then you can do a prestige version. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well now it's thrilling and it's kind of worth my time. Like I want to achieve
Right.
this because you get, a notch on your belt for the emblems, like for the prestige emblem, you could be like, I've
Mm-hmm.
done a ton of these, or it was required for a certain thing. Like there was stakes involved and it felt rewarding to complete it. It doesn't feel that rewarding to complete a normal Nightfall anymore. It felt
Sure.
rewarding to complete Nightfalls in D1. That's why I was
Mm-hmm.
referencing it, because I'm cool with them going back to like a base, more difficult version of it, and then putting 3 in the pool. So it's like, hey, if you hate this strike, there's another choice you can get. Or you're really trying to get this gun, your buddy's trying to get this gun, you can pick it from the list. Like
Sure.
there's more strikes now. It's more likely to come up in the rotation, and it's smart for them to do because they're going to be adding more strikes. And as more strikes get added, you don't want them to remove anything from the pool, Because the worst thing that they did is when they changed the strike playlist. I think it was in House of Wolves or it was in Taken King,
Hmm.
where they did like a very low probability for getting the older strikes and a
Okay.
high probability for getting the new ones.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you need to do the new ones because you're trying to get the helmet from I forget what's his name, who was in like the Dark Pit
Oh, the
in the
Alahul or
Ala
Alakul.
cool. Yeah, yeah. Right? Like there was
Alejandro.
that, which was the thing. Halle Alejandro.
Yeah.
But like it was cool to do that. But then you took all the other stuff out of rotation. So now you've
Sure.
added this
Yeah.
cool thing where you have a Nightfall reward. Awesome. Let me get more chances to get that, which is perfect.
Hmm.
Like I think that's a really good thing to add. I think it's a really good like thing to do. So I'm cool with
Right.
them reverting to like a base difficulty. I'm very cool with the three choices. I hope the strikes become interesting again
Same.
and desirable.
Yeah, I'm all for it as long as the rewards are there. That's pretty much my theme for
Yeah.
the entire year 2 of Destiny is I'm in as long as the rewards are there. That's another thing with them making heroic adventures a thing on all of the planets. Hopefully they're
Yes.
worth the time. I don't want to just randomly go like do random heroic adventures, and I don't know how they haven't said at all how those are going to
Yeah.
work into the like rewards economy kind of thing.
Yeah, it'll
Um,
be interesting. It'll be interesting. My only fear, and I like that upgrading stuff is going to take longer. I like that there's more of a
sure.
progression. I miss the days of having to drop a piece of gear and then have to actually go take it out and do stuff with it to level it up to get it to be the gear that you want.
Yep. Agree.
To kind of get like the full effect out of it. I think that's a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that they're not doing it for the sense of slowing us down.
Right.
I hope it's not an artificial slowdown for that reason. That's my only qualms about it, kind of going into it,
Sure.
because
100%.
Bungie's sort of known.
Yeah, they're sort of known for a lot of things. Okay, so economy updates that are coming on August 28th, which is going to be cool. A lot
Yes.
of things coming on August 28th, which is really cool. It's kind of like a pre-hype period where we get to try out all the new weapon slot systems and all of these economy updates. So the destination materials are going to become the main source of reputation on their respective destinations.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Destination materials will be a part of the cost to infuse different weapons and armor. Cool.
I'm okay with
Um,
it.
I'm down for grinding some of that out. So the year 1 challenges that granted reputation tokens are being retired, but will be replaced by bounties offered on each destination that provide destination materials. So that's cool. I like being able to go to like the different planets and stuff and
Yeah.
do the bounties if you need those materials. Destination
Yeah.
tokens and rare destination materials are no longer awarded, but you can still redeem them for reputation, yada, yada, yada. And anything that previously granted destination tokens or rare materials will be rewarded common destination materials moving forward. So, pretty self explanatory with the economy updates. It's just going to be basically all your destination materials will be how you upgrade the things, and then that's how you do
Yeah.
the stuff. And then the gunsmith is also going to be updated. It's going to be 40 gunsmith materials for one package. So this will increase
Yeah.
to 100. So I feel like those are going to be a
I'm
little
okay
bit
with
more
that.
rare.
I think that's fine. I think I
Essentially
saw some
double,
stuff talking
right?
about. Yeah, just about. And I think it's there so that players like me, who I think I have 4,000 weapon parts or so,
Yep.
so that I can't spam level.
Right.
Um, I don't think that they need to artificially do that because if things are rolling around your level, I mean, I guess you could also just build the gunsmith. Like the gunsmith wasn't in Destiny 1 was like a Wednesday thing where you would test out the
Sure.
weapons, order your package, and then you would get it, on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they need to increase the cap that much, but maybe they're saying that they've mentioned in the videos and stuff about it, the Vidocs. There's like 2,000 things
Yeah.
to get in this expansion.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we're gonna have a checklist. I'm interested to see just how many weapons they can have because if there's really that many weapons, and then we're also doing random rolls, that makes me happy because then I can
Yeah.
not only chase things. It's kind of like the Pokedex. You got them all, but do you have them with the right IVs and stats and all this other stuff that you want to have? Like you can have them just to check the list off and then shard them, which is fine if you're not using
Mm-hmm.
a gun. But I want to have them, and then I want to really fine tune the ones that I have. Like I hope that option and that kind of thing is available.
Right. Absolutely,
So,
100%. So
and
that's
I'll
cool.
grind for it if it's the materials. The only thing that I'd like to add is that I'm spoiled by Warframe in the fact that planetary materials, you can shoot them or you can slash them and then just like slide over them to pick them
Right.
up. I
Yeah.
would like to not have to hold the button and slow my whole
First
loop
world problems,
down.
guys. First world problems.
Seriously though, like it's
No,
like
I agree.
running and gunning in Destiny is part of the loop, and it's fun.
Spoiled
Slowing
Perk
down
is
to hold
spoiled.
the button, I'm seriously spoiled.
Yeah.
Dude, for real. Like I've played a game where I can just shoot it or slash it or whatever on it to pop it open and then slide over it so I can see it from a distance. Boom,
Yeah.
shot this and then
It's
pick
like
up the
walk
shards
over
of it.
it, fart on it, pick it
Yeah,
up. The
like
usual.
do whatever. Like give me a little bit of a different mechanic for things that I'm going to be able to things that is going to be grindy.
Sure.
I don't like stopping, and that takes me out of it. When I have to stop and hold the button on it, it kind of slows me down.
Touche.
And especially, I didn't even pick up that many in D2 for the last year.
Right.
But if that's going to be part of what we're doing, that's okay. I'd like to see a little mechanic change for it.
I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another change is now this could I want to not make this into a whole conversation, but a couple of things I wanted to note is Eververse is going through a couple of different changes. One of the things is you're going to be able to do bounties for Eververse to earn Bright Dust, which I think is absolutely awesome.
Cool.
They're going to be putting a couple new things in the store, which is going to be like ghost projections, which I don't know if you saw the picture of that, but they look pretty cool. It's like a little projection thing that comes up from the top of the ghost. These are just like aesthetic things that or whatever. Pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Not game changing whatsoever. And then legendary weapon skins are going to be available there, which is also I think really cool.
I like that. Yeah.
Being able to change legendaries instead of just shading them is dope, I think, in my opinion, especially for some of the more popular legendaries that people are going to be running. And then obviously new exotic ornaments and emotes and all that stuff.
Yes.
So there's 3 different tiers of Eververse bounties that you can get. So the tier 1, it's called a bounty note, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, they're very vague about that.
And it rewards 20 bright dust. Then there's a tier 2, it's 70, and then there's a tier 3 that's 150. So you can carry them all at any time, and they'll be good to go for 7 days. I think that's kind of cool because it kind of brings Eververse more into the game, which I think is what everyone kind of wants, not to have it be this like separate paywall entity that the game offers. This gives people this literally once a week, it sounds like, gives people like the opportunity to earn bright dust to buy what they want, which pretty much takes care of the entire problem in my opinion. If this all like works out the way that they're saying it's going to work out, I think bounties was a really smart and really good way for them to like give that availability, because it's not like the prismatic matrix, which is still returning, which is fine, which gives people even more ways to like get stuff, but that was still kind of RNG on like which ones you got kind of situation. At least being able to earn bright dust without having to pay for it, which it looks like if we do the math, 150, 70, and 200, that's going to give you like close to 300. What is the math on that? 100, close to 300 or whatever a week.
That's cool. That should be enough to buy the ornament that's on sale that you want. Kind of like where I was like, at this point, I'm like, okay, if I get enough bright engrams, I can get ghosts and just shard them, because ghosts are like 95 dust each. And I'm like, all right, it's this many ghosts before I need to get, this gun ornament that's going to go away that I want to have.
Right, and if you obviously don't want whatever's there, then bam, you just save it and save it for the next time.
As long as they have a way for me to even if it's roundabout, to get what I want from it, I'm all for the questification of Eververse. To go back to the thing where I kind of was like the ghost projections. The only reason I'm like about them is the ghost doesn't matter in the game. The ghost is a thing that we pull out for 2 seconds.
Sure.
To either it's automatically pulled out while we're holding the button to scan some spire or whatever for the Vex, or to unlock a door, or it's literally just the screen where you can see, oh, that person's about to bounce out of this strike. Yeah. This Crucible game.
I would like them to be like in Warframe, like your little pet, right? Where you can like your ghost can be following you at all times.
Doing something.
That would make the customization of it like more dope. And then if you could add, like floating behind you or like just being there, and it would give you the ability to add like certain perks to your ghost. Like when you're a warlock, you throw down a rift, right? It like starts shooting at enemies, which is super cool as hell.
Yeah.
Like imagine being able to like use it as like your little pet, like in Warframe, and have it like shoot at stuff or like stun things or give you like some sort of shield or some sort of shit.
Or if they really wanted to get fancy with it, instead of just having Nolan North be a voice,
Mm-hmm.
Put a different voice actor in as Eververse. Let me
Sure.
have a sarcastic ghost if I want to.
Yeah,
Like,
like do
let
like
me,
skin, like
yeah,
voice skins, essentially is what you're saying.
yeah. Why not? Like, if I can get freaking Christopher Walken or whoever on my GPS,
Yeah.
like, basically that's what the ghost is. I would enjoy it if I bought a shell and it came with a different personality. Like, let me have somebody else. Like, maybe I'm just feeling sarcastic and just throwing
Yeah,
shade.
fail safe.
Exactly. If
Same saying fail
failsafe
safe.
was like
Imagine fail safe
politely
being your
throwing
ghost.
shade, that would
Yeah,
be great.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
There's a big opportunity for that. You know,
Or it could sound
so
like you, Perk.
I see that in chat.
Jeez
Could you
Louise.
imagine if I was a ghost, just exasperated, like just like annoyed?
Yep.
I was like, "You want to do a strike again? Why? All right, you're dead. Why are
Cool.
you dead again? You keep dying. I keep having to revive you. Like, let's work on this. Let's work on
Let's
our
work
aim.
on this.
You know,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
that would be great. I think there's I'm glad to recap it so that I don't go on a tangent for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Eververse is getting questification. There is such an easy way that they could ramp the hell out of Eververse and they could make me get my wallet out to do certain things. In
Sure.
addition to the questification and to do the
Mm-hmm.
stuff like the small stuff. They're thinking small game. They can go big
Yeah,
with
they could
this.
go big. I think that's the whole point. Is like the problem with Eververse is pretty simple, if you ask
Yeah,
me. But it's like it's people want to be able to earn the rewards if they don't want to pay for them. Like there should be like in
exactly.
my opinion, there should be an extensive grind to it. But if you want to go
Right.
grind it out, and then you should be able to. You
They're
shouldn't be
letting
like.
let me add more personality to my game, you know?
Mhm. But for
Like
the people like
World
in
of
any other game, it's like Warframe never gets shit because you can get everything in the game.
right.
You don't
There's a
have to pay
lot
a
of
cent.
detail.
But people
Yeah.
are gonna still spend money.
Oh yeah.
Like how
Absolutely.
many streams? Like when Warframe was when I was streaming it here recently, and a lot of my friends were streaming it. How many people's chats did I go into that were streaming on Twitch or Mixer or whatever it was? That were like, like I play this game religiously. I have like 700 hours into it, and yada yada yada. But I'm still gonna go buy the Rhino Prime and all this other stuff. And it's
Right.
like,
Exactly. I
it's
reminds me
like,
I have to do that. I
yeah.
run on prom.
But
But yeah,
yeah. So,
like
anyways, like, yeah,
you're
give us a way to grab it in Destiny. Give us a way to grind for it, even if it's hard. Like Warframe is not
yes.
easy. That shit's intense.
Right.
But yeah, give us a way to get it. And some people
They're
are
just
pay for
there's
it.
yeah. Destiny is a very merchandisable game
Sure.
outside of the game. Like there's not too many games that have the depth of merchandise. Think about Overwatch, Destiny has it.
Mm-hmm.
Like outside of games like Star Wars has it and stuff like that. Destiny is a very easy to merchandise game. They can do merchandise in game. Like
Sure.
there's so many avenues for them to really soak us dry for Eververse.
Yeah.
But with the light stuff, with the light stuff that we've been given, I'm glad that there's a way to questify it. So yes, stamp of approval.
100%.
Good to go on it.
110%. Cool. So a couple things coming up imminently. And then we're going to, I think, wrap up for this episode. Try to keep these at an hour. And then we can revisit next time. And next time I want to kind of focus on PvP. So next episode will be PvP based. And we'll talk about all that stuff leading up to Forsaken. And we'll jump a little bit into the weapon economy and all that stuff that was talked about in the previous live stream by Bungie, which they talked about all that fun stuff. So we'll get into that next time. But we just hit through Double Valor Week in PvP, which is ending tomorrow, and then Triple Valor weekend starts. So that's August 17th going through the 21st, which is going to be awesome for people that want to get that Crucible Ghost and boop their ranks up, Valor ranks, which is awesome. And then the final double Valor weekend is going to be the 24th through the 28th. So if you still didn't get your rank reset, which I don't, if you don't play PvP, these are definitely the times to do it. That's going to be like your last chance to get that done.
And if you do play PvP, you can increase your KD because there'll be a lot of scrubs trying to get the ghosts.
100%. That's what's going on right now for it's a little bit, the competitive is a little bit more populated right now because everyone's panicking. They're like, I want my Claymore. And so everyone's grinding for it, and it's super sweaty and not something I'm interested in whatsoever. But
I want my Claymore. But anyway.
I want it too, dude. But then I thought that was going to be something that I was going to grind for. But like, Maybe if I was on console, it'd be easier if I played on main console. But like, damn, dude, it's
It's
really,
sweaty.
really
It's
sweaty,
not
and it's
PC.
really,
It's
really
sweaty.
painful on PC to grind that
Yeah.
out. Like I saw Triple Rec was just like grinding the competitive playlist like yesterday for like 6 hours, and he ran into the same team like 20 times. It was just ridiculous. And it was like
Yeah.
Luminosity and all those people. Like I don't want to go up against Luminosity. Like I just
We
don't.
played them. We played them
Yeah,
at one
like,
point.
well, it's because that's
Lots of
what they
fun.
do. Like
Yeah.
that's what they play, and like it's just so silly. I'd get on a streak, and then you run into them, and then it's all. Anyways,
You're like, ha 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 ha, great, good for me.
but to be fair, and I'm gonna be very fair. This is kind of what everyone wanted, right? The competitive
Yes.
best PvP players, like they're over there doing that, and that's for them, right? That's what they wanted. They wanted a really hard thing to get, and I've already seen a lot of stuff on the Bungie forums and on Reddit about like season 4, the reward for Crucible needs to be much easier and yada yada yada. I'm like no, it doesn't. It needs
Uh-huh.
to be hard and hard. It needs to be hard.
You want to know what there needs to be?
Hmm.
Just two different ones.
Sure.
Make a prestige level difficult PvE
Like an adept
esque,
version. Yep.
yeah, like a PvE esque version of it that maybe has a different perk, and then make your
Sure.
Crucible version of it.
Sure.
So that if you want to spend your time in either direction, or if you're like, maybe I have the Crucible chops, but my friends don't, and I don't want to LFG with randos.
Right.
Let me go in on something, and then that's it can even have a they can even center that around whatever the new raid's going to be. Make it
Yeah.
thematically
100%.
like that, where it's like it's this big long grind to get, and we got to do it with friends, we got to do it with clanmates to get this, this reward. Maybe the same type of weapon, make two hand cannons this time around.
Right.
Something where you can be like, oh, I didn't get Redrix's, but I got the other pulse rifle.
Sure.
Where you can at
Sure.
least walk away with something.
Well, I mean,
I would like
there is another one. Is that pulse rifle that you get like towards the
Marine.
beginning, but it's like
Yeah.
not good. At
It's
least
decent,
well, it's
honestly.
like
I like
okay,
it.
but there's like other ones that are better.
At this
you
point,
know?
it's just like it's not vigilance wing, so why are you using it? Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And that's another. Well, we'll talk about that next time. PvP and
Sure.
and all the metas and um, that's just crazy. But anyways,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that at a later date, and I hope
sure.
that competitive we're gonna see. I think that's in the weekly update tonight. We're recording here on a Thursday. I think the TWAB.
Yeah,
They're gonna be
tonight.
discussing Crucible changes for the competitive playlist, which I'm super excited about.
Yes.
Yeah, good idea in chat. Xlock says get a base
I
gun
was
in
gonna
normal
say, I just
Crucible,
saw
but
that.
only get the good perks in the higher ones. 100%.
Yeah,
So
because this way you have the gun, you just don't have the finesse version of it. I'm all about it.
100% for it. Cool. Well, thank you, Perk, for chatting with me today,
Absolutely,
and thank
man.
you everyone that's
know it.
listening on Anchor or on anywhere your podcast. That kind of goes into the end of this thing and all the shout outs. You can find this podcast pretty much everywhere podcasts are available: iTunes, Google. Anchor is our home, though. If you'd like to support the cast, there'll be a link on the Twitter, which is at R2Ocast. You're more than welcome to go over there, support the cast, and make it easy for us to produce this every week. Perk, what is your you want people to follow you on Twitter if they have questions for you, if they want to send you hate mail?
Sure. Yeah, they absolutely can. I think you tagged it when we started up, but at JAY_fried man. That's me.
Cool.
Me IRL. You can find me. He wants Facebook? No.
No,
No, he doesn't. No
we don't.
Facebooks.
We're against Facebook here. We don't do
That
Facebook.
is not acceptable.
It's not cool. You guys can find me on Twitter at Sean Bartley, over on Mixer at mixer.com/Sean Bartley. I stream every night 8:30 Eastern time. I'm a Destiny creator, but I play other games as well. So if you guys are looking for a place to come hang out and join a community, you can do that. We are also over on Discord. The Return to Orbit podcast is over on Discord. I'll get a link into the description of this podcast wherever it's available if you guys want to join that. And that's about it. Thanks again, Perk, for hanging out, and thanks for a good first reboot episode. We'll be back for more in time. And like I said, next week we're gonna focus on some PvP discussions, which I'm excited about. And I was kind of just waiting for the update today in the TWAB to talk about competitive a little bit more, but we'll get that done. But thanks you guys for listening. Y'all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're listening, and we will see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Nailed it. Dude, there's I wanted to read every comment that was in chat. You guys are hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Export audio as WAV file. Yeah.
Are you still live streaming, or did you
Yeah,
end the stream too?
I'm still live for a second. I'm not gonna be live for much longer. I'm just gonna get this
Word.
saved. I'm just gonna do R2001.
That was wonder fucking chat.
Wonderfuck is my new word, dude. It's sure. I have a band-aid on my finger and can't type. What did you do to your finger? Oh my gosh. Hang now. Oh, gotcha. Love how like it's so one-word answer. Like, hang now.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
You know,
Hang now. Oh, okay. Totally. I'm gonna save this to my desktop just so I know where it's at right now. Boom.
Save project.
Okay, and then if you want to just upload
Yep.
to the
Save project
disky
as.
cord. Okay, got it. All right, have fun at work, babe. I'll see you in 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. If you're in the stream, by the way. Hopefully, everyone liked the first cast, which I thought was always eventful.
Oh, I thought it was.
It always is eventful when we do the thing, so that's good.
Wonderful. I'm exporting it. You want it as a wave, right?
That'd be best, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably render the whole thing down as a high quality MP3 just so it's a quicker upload to Anchor.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. And then I'm actually gonna edit it and probably try to throw it up as soon as I can here. Did you have a chance to listen to the music?
I did. I like it.
Did you like it?
It's good.
Cool.
It
Alright, dude.
is good.
Alright, dude. Throw that up into the Dropbox right now if you can,
Yes,
and then I'll get it uploaded.
I am gonna. Oh wait, it's asking for arrow keys for enter after editing navigation field.
What?
Oh, this is metadata. Oh, that's cool. Cool. I'm gonna. Don't really need to do that.
New folder. Return to oops.
I like the option for metadata.
To. I need typing class. Return to orbit. There's a folder called Return to Orbit in the Dropbox.
Perfect.
Sweet, dude. All right, dude. I'm gonna bop out of here. I
Yes,
will.
sir.
What are you doing tonight? Are you playing any video games tonight, or what's the situation?
No, actually, I have
Taking
a friend
a-
tonight.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Queen's taking the night off too, but I'll probably be, playing because video games.
Yeah. I'll probably pop on late, get a couple
Okay.
Iron betting games in, so you might see me on.
Well, yeah, well.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for doing the cast.
All right, man.
Are you
Anytime.
usually free on Thursdays?
So basically, I'm off this week because Worlds is happening for
Okay.
Call of Duty. So I
nice.
don't. My schedule is going to be kind of hectic. I'm going to be trying to fill it with some other stuff.
Okay.
So, but we could always make time. Like this was easy to do. So
Yeah, it was like
whenever.
When I
yeah,
say an
whenever you
hour,
want
I
to.
usually mean an hour. Like I'll forcefully cut it off and be like, "All right, that's enough for
perfect.
this week," because I want to just
Yeah, that's perfect.
keep it
No,
consistent.
absolutely.
I don't want people to like get used to an hour podcast and then come on one day and it'd be like 2 hours and they'd be like, "Oh fuck, well I can't listen to this whole damn thing right now."
Yeah. Oh, it's not. My export is not responding.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Please
Okay.
respond,
Please respond.
because I did not record a backup.
I mean, I guess worst case scenario, you have me through Mixer VOD.
We could just pull the audio from the stream and upload it.
Yeah. This is ugly. All right, I'm gonna have to force quit. Hold on, bear with me for a second, especially
If you
you're-
force
you're
quit, will
actually-
it like delete it?
So I think I don't know if Audacity saves the session. This is the export is what hung up. It was like
Oh,
right at
okay.
the end, yeah. Probably because I exported it straight to my flash drive. Or is it
Well,
my flash drive that's not having it? Probably it. My flash drive having it fit? Let's see.
all right, we'll do what you need to do. I'll let you
Yeah,
figure that out,
yeah,
and
we'll figure it out.
just message me and let me know what's going on.
We'll do. All right, dude.
Worst case scenario, let me know and I will pull the VOD and I can send
Yeah.
it to you. Do you know how to pull audio off that?
Yeah, I can retract it if you want me to do that. That's no problem.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
All right, just let me know. But if you can get the audio, just drop it in.
Yep, we'll do.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Peace.
Later. All right, guys. In the stream, if you're still watching, thank you guys for hanging out for our podcast. I'll be back tonight at 8:30 Eastern time, and we will be doing the thing, playing the video games. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this will be up soon. Hopefully Perk gets that all taken care of, and it's not. Look at my eyes; they're circles. Hello, I am Circle. All right, that's enough of that. All right, we'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 Eastern time. Y'all have a good afternoon. We'll talk to you later. Peace.